Welcome, Niels. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm very good. It's nice to see you again.
Yes, I've been in England for 3 weeks now. We came back last Tuesday.
Ah, really? That's
So,
great. How
yeah,
was it a vacation?
vacation, yes.
Okay, good. How was it?
It was very nice as usual. We are going
Okay.
there 2 or 3 times every year. So,
Okay, good. This is like a regular vacation.
yes, quite.
Okay, good. Did you do anything new this time?
No, we are always walking, a walking holiday in Derbyshire this time.
Okay, very nice. But you're back home now.
We came back last Tuesday.
Hmm.
So,
Well, great. I'm
yeah,
glad you had a good time.
absolutely.
We also have Vina. Welcome.
Hello, I'm glad to hear you again, to
Aha, good to
participate
see
in
you
your class
again.
again. Yes,
It's also been a while since we've seen each other.
yes, I tried to change the scenery and attended different lessons. And now
Okay.
I decided to come back to you. So I'm
Well,
glad.
welcome back. Nice to have you. We also have, let's see, Ksenia. Welcome, Ksenia.
Hello,
How are you doing today?
I'm fine as always.
Very good. Nice to hear. We have Greg.
Hi, how are you?
Great. And you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, very good. Welcome, Edson.
Hello.
Nice to see you today. How's it going? Edson, are you there?
I'm good, and you?
Very good. Nice to have you in the class.
Thank you.
We have Anatoly. Welcome.
Hello,
How are you doing?
I am fine, thank you. How are you?
Very good. And we have Anna. Welcome, Anna.
Hello, Audrey.
How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking. And you?
I'm great. Nice to have you in the class. Welcome, everybody, to our reading and conversation class. The title of our article today, Why College Isn't and Shouldn't Have to Be for Everyone. This is an article, again, written for a cultural, I'm not going to say issue, but a cultural standard that we have here in the US, that everybody should go to college, everybody must go to college. I don't know how this is the same or different in other countries. Any comments about this kind of aspect in your country? Does everybody feel the pressure or the need to go to college?
May I?
Anna?
Well, here in my country, when someone has a degree, it's different because, for instance, if the person is arrested, they go to a special jail, they have some benefits. And a degree um, gives you status and things like that. However, some people have degrees and they work in other fields. Sometimes lawyers can work as taxi drivers. It is difficult to find a job if you have a degree. If you don't have it, it's more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But some people succeed without a degree. They look out. They are an entrepreneur,
Entrepreneurs?
entrepreneurs. This word is very difficult. Yes, and
Okay.
and they don't have a degree. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how to pronounce this word well. Sorry.
That's okay. It's a little tricky. Entrepreneurs. Okay, good. Ksenia, you said in the chat the same. You mean that everybody's kind of expected to go to college there?
Yes, after school,
Mm-hmm.
we should go to college or university, I think, in our
Mm-hmm.
country. And if you don't have a degree, it's like, oh my God, it's you are poor thing. You don't have a degree. How are you going to work and something like that?
It's very similar here that there's a lot of social stigma around not having a degree. It's kind of the default that you should have one, and if you don't, that's a problem. Other comments from maybe other countries?
Audrey, can I clarify the meaning of this word college? For us, it's college. It's some educational institute where people go, young people go after the 9th grade. So actually, they don't get degree in the college in our country.
College is referring to after this, when after you finish your required studying, when you're a child.
So we are speaking about it because in our country we have different meaning for this, for the college. It's from the 10th, so they actually finish their secondary education at college. So that is why I want to define it. What are we speaking about? Higher education.
This is about higher education. After high school, what you're describing is called high school. After high school.
How old are you when you go to college in US?
Typically 18. Sometimes 17, but typically 18.
I don't think it's good if everybody should go to college, because in many countries in the Western world we have a lack of vocational people who can repair your washing machine and your car and all that, carpenters and so on. And therefore, in our country, in Denmark, too many people at the moment are doing studies at universities. And I just said a joke the other day. Somebody has been interviewed, a job interview, and the employer says, next time we have use for a specialist in old Greek pottery, we will have you in mind.
So, in other words, there's a lot of people studying very specific things in college.
I think that happens all over the world. And I know in some countries, in 10 years' time, it will be difficult to get a decent mechanics to mend your car.
Or, Niels, maybe you will have mechanics with masters.
Could be.
Okay, other comments about how this is looked at?
Audrey, how college and university refers each other?
It's a good question. In general, in American English, college refers to the university. When we say college, we mean university. There is a technical difference. A university, in general, gives out masters and PhDs, and it's 4 years for bachelor's degrees, whereas college we can use for 2-year degrees. Okay, so there is a technical difference, but in general, we always say college. When you go to college, that could be university as well.
Okay.
Okay, any other comments before we get started? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and read this article. As you read, make sure you're looking for any phrases or words that you don't understand. Ask as many questions as you like. And I'll be correcting you on any pronunciation mistakes if you have them. Okay, Albina, would you like to start?
Why college isn't and shouldn't have to be for everyone. And I cannot read further because I don't see. So now it's okay. I know a high school senior who I know a high school senior who is so worried about whether she'll be accepted at the college of her choice she can't sleep. The parent of another senior tells me he stands at the mailbox for an hour every day waiting for a hoped-for acceptance letter to arrive. Parents are also uptight. I've heard of some who have stopped socializing with other parents of children competing for admission to the same university.
Okay, and the last?
Competition. Competition for place top brand college is absolutely intense.
Okay, great. And so, before we talk about some specific words here, Albina, what is the author reflecting on?
So he or she, I don't know, the author reflected that for some people it is crucially important to be accepted to the college, and for some it is also very important for parents of young people. So they can have a real problem, mental problem even, and they don't communicate to each other in case if their children couldn't get acceptance.
Okay. Okay, sure. Is this something common in other countries?
Yes, I can speak about my country, so yes, it is common.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I know in every country the admission process is different. Maybe there are different kind of tests that you have to take, different procedures here. Other comments about this process, this waiting process?
I don't think it is natural for all our aspects of our life when we have to compete. So we worry, we want to be accepted. So it is in part of our nature.
Okay, probably. Anatoly?
As I understood, Tom Brand College is very important for Americans. They also attract the most for the most famous colleges.
Right, when it says that top brand colleges, it means those big names, the ones that everybody recognizes, Harvard, Yale, but not even just those that are internationally known. Some other ones that are famous just in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some other questions here. Okay, let's go to our next section, and Anna, would you read
Okay.
until Edge?
Competition for places top brand colleges is absurdly intense, with inequality at record levels and almost all the economic gains going to the top. There is more pressure than ever to get the golden ring. A degree from a prestigious university can open doors to elite business schools and law schools, and to jobs paying hundreds of thousands, if not millions, a year. So parents who can't afford it are paying grotesque sums to give their kids an edge.
Parents who, what?
Who can afford.
Who can afford. Okay, good. A summary, Anna, what's going on in these few lines?
There is a lot of competitors, and people don't have the same amount of money. There are a lot of pressure, and people who are born with a silver spoon in their mouth can go to the university. The parents pay a lot of money.
And he uses the phrase here, are paying grotesque sums. What does that mean, grotesque sums?
A huge amount of money.
A huge amount. Why does he use the word grotesque?
I don't know what's the meaning.
Does anybody know what that word means, grotesque?
In this connection, it would mean it's a lot. It is absurdly expensive to go there.
It is a lot in this, but what is the original meaning? of grotesque?
Grotesque is awful.
Mm-hmm.
A face can be grotesque.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful, for example.
It's awful. It's almost disgusting. Okay, so it's a really strong way to say a lot of money because he's kind of saying that it's an awful or disgusting amount of money. Ridiculous. Okay, other words there? Any other words or phrases that you weren't sure about?
Audrey,
Mm-hmm.
the golden ring.
Mm-hmm. There's more pressure than ever to get the golden ring. Any ideas based on the context?
I
It's
don't
the
know.
top. I think it's the top of some colleges with a high, how to say, with a high reputation, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, right. It's kind of like, in general, we can use this expression to mean to get the prize, whatever the prize is. In this case, it would be getting a degree from one of these universities.
Audrey,
Mm-hmm.
is it because when you graduate, your parents buy you a ring?
It can be, but this is a general expression. We say this for other things, just to win or to reach some goal that you have.
Is it an idiom?
Uh-huh. It's an idiom. Not a very common one. I don't use this idiom, but it is an idiom that means to reach a goal or to get a prize. Okay, other questions here? Okay, let's go to our next. And Anatoly, would you read these next sections?
They enhance their kids' resumes, which such things as bathroom lessons, trips to preserve the wildlife in Botswana, internships at the Atlantic Monthly. They hire test preparation coaches. They arrange for consultants to help their children write compelling essays on college applications. They make generous contributions to the elite colleges they once attended, to which their kids are applying, colleges that give extra points to legacies and even more to those who wealthy families that donate tons of money. Next.
The last.
You might call this affirmative action for the rich.
Okay, great. A few words for pronunciation here. They're kids' resumes.
Resumes.
Here, such things as bassoon lessons.
Such things as bassoon lessons.
Great. Everything else was good. Okay, so what's the author talking about here, Anatoly?
Parents are trying to increase the level of resumes and resumes, yes, and they use for it extravagant, not usual ways, like they give possibility their children to preserve wildlife in Botswana, for example, or free internships and they hire spend a lot of money for coaches, and they donate also to the university. These paragraphs demonstrate us how important for parents that deal, and they are ready to spend a lot of money, donation, etc.
Okay, exactly. So there's a lot of things that go into this from the parent side. Some questions here. Okay, Anna, you're asking about bassoon? What is a bassoon?
It's a sort of a clarinet that it plays a deeper tone than a clarinet.
Right. It's a musical instrument similar to a clarinet. It's got a kind of strange looking mouthpiece. Other questions?
The term legacy, it's referring only to the rich people. What is all about? Because I heard in the movie, they accepted me because it is because of my legacy.
Aha. This is a good question. Colleges that give extra points to legacies. Has anybody seen this phrase before with regards to universities or colleges? Because it means something very specific. Any idea?
I like a ticket to the university, to the college. Only who have enough points could apply, could expect to achieve, to attend. No?
They are talking about giving points to these people, but the legacies are people. They're referring to people as legacies. A legacy in the context of a university is, for example, a child whose parents went to that university. So if my parents went to Harvard, then I am a legacy if I go to Harvard again. Okay, so if your parents go to these elite colleges, you have a better chance of being accepted to them because they like to have generation after generation going to the same university.
Interesting idea.
Okay. Right. When you apply to these colleges, one of the questions is, do you have a relative who went to this university? And if you say yes, and they can verify it, your likelihood of being accepted is higher. Okay, other questions here? Okay, let's continue. And Ksenia, would you read the next few until nuts?
And from what sentence?
The same.
I'm
the same.
not. You might. The same. But I couldn't see. Yes. Okay. Now see. You might call this affirmative action for the rich. The same intensifying competition is affecting mid-range colleges and universities that are going everything they can to bashing their own brands, competing with other mid-range institutions to enlarge their applicant pools, attract good students, and inch upward on the U.S. News College rankings. Every college president wants to increase the ratio of applications to admissions, thereby becoming more elite. Excuse me, but this is nuts.
Okay, great. Just 2 words here for pronunciation here. They can to burnish their own brands.
Yes, burnish.
And here increase the ratio.
Increase the ratio.
Okay, everything else was great. So what is it talking about here, Ksenia, with the mid-range colleges?
That they are going for their big amount of students. Yes? No?
What do you mean?
1 second. Increase the rate of application? No? Actually, actually, I don't know what this paragraph's about.
That's okay. Let's try and figure it out. Somebody help us out. What is one thing that the author's talking about here?
Can I try?
Mm-hmm.
The author is talking about the situation between mid-range college, and the author says that the situation is absolutely the same, and it is a dream for all college presidents when they have more applicants than they will admit. It means that their college is popular and it has a reputation and it is becoming prestigious.
Uh-huh. Exactly. So if you talk about a college like, or a university like Harvard, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's a very, very low percentage of people who apply that actually get accepted. And this percentage rate is something that makes the college more elite. The lower the percentage, the more elite the college is. So even these regular colleges who are not super famous, they want more people to apply so they can deny more people and have a lower percentage acceptance rate. Okay, sure. So this is the main idea here. Are there some questions?
Yes, Audrey. Inch upward.
Okay, an inch upwards on the U.S. News College rankings. So this is a very popular college ranking system. You can see which colleges are the #1 on the list. And to inch upwards is to go up slowly, inch by inch. Okay, so maybe the last year they were number 50, then they're 49, then they're 48, going slowly up on the rankings list. Other questions here?
Maybe last phrase. This is nuts. Is it a figurative expression?
It is.
Probably.
Anna, what does it mean?
This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This is absurd.
Nuts or crazy? Excuse me, but this is crazy, according to the author.
Yes, crazy, like absurd, outrageous. Right?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Ksenia, did you have one?
No, I don't have. Can I ask Niels mute himself while he's not speaking because he has some crunch noises?
Yeah.
My eyes are killing by this noise. I'm sorry, Niels. Can you mute yourself, please? Thank you.
Okay. So some comments about this process. Again, think about whether or not it happens in your country and what you think about this idea that they're trying to deny as many people as possible, get as many people as possible to apply so they can deny them and have their acceptance rates be lower. What do you think about this?
It is, I would say, a very weird trick to become one of the most prestigious colleges or universities because it doesn't really mean anything because they can just limit the number of places in this particular school and they can easily refuse to accept the application of potential students. So I don't know. I don't understand too much about this strategy. Of course, it works in every country, but it is more about there's like you need to have like in Poland 4.0 to be accepted or something like that. But that depends. Sometimes it is entrance exams. Sometimes I don't know. Universities try to different tricks, but this is quite weird one.
Okay. And Greg, they do this, so they will just change the amount of people that they are accepting, lower the amount of people that they are accepting, and so it looks like their university has become more elite, but really they just changed this acceptance number. It's not really, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Other comments?
I don't think that it is so bad. If you have more candidates than you need, so you can choose. It's a variety of choices. You can choose the better ones. Why not? I don't think it's so terrible or evil thing.
Okay.
When 5 applicants, when you have 5 applicants and you need 5, so you have nothing to do as accept all of them. But when you have 50 of them, you can choose the best one.
Uh-huh. Okay. Other comments?
I think if you are very clever and bright students, but you from poor family, it's a very low percentage that you can be a student of Harvard or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in some kind, it's unfair, of course.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sure. Especially these really, really famous ones that are internationally recognized. These are very difficult to become accepted into.
Just a simple question.
Uh-huh.
What if someone is not from the middle class, it's something below of it. That means that he cannot really afford to finish college in one of those prestigious universities. How is the situation of those kind of people who doesn't have a rich people who maybe they are talented but they just don't have enough money to pay for their higher education?
There are scholarships, especially to those very famous universities. If you are a genius, but you're poor, there's a chance that you can get accepted into those universities and get a scholarship. It would still be expensive just because of the culture. If you're going to that university, and you would probably still have to pay a lot of money even if you have a scholarship. But there are scholarships.
Okay.
They're very, very rare, though.
Okay, thank you for the answer.
Other comments here or questions? Okay, let's go to the next. Anna, are you asking about scholarships for like sports?
Uh-huh.
There are sports scholarships, although they're not so common in these elite universities because the academics is everything. Sports are not so important in those. So usually you would have to get an academic scholarship, not a sports scholarship. Okay, and let's go to Greg.
Okay.
Until failures.
Wait a second, what is it? Feel like, okay, total failures, I get it. The biggest absurdity is that 4-year college degree has become only gateway into the American middle class. but not every young person is suited to 4 years of college. They may be bright and ambitious, but they won't get much out of it. They would rather be doing something else, like making money or painting murals. They feel compelled to go to the college because they've been told over and over that a college degree is necessary. Yes, if they start a college and then drop out, they feel like total failures.
Okay, great. What's the main idea here, Greg?
So the first point is about how people enter the middle class, the society, and here later it is about the people who have talented, but they don't get it enough. They wouldn't get a chance to actually to get any of it, to just use their skills to be accepted into the college, and they just make a decision to do something else, and it is like a mythology in the US, probably based on this article, that you have to go to the college to because degree is necessary, and we can agree or not, but we probably hear it in every country. No, except maybe in Poland, actually not anymore, because we have too many graduates. And it is like about the people who just start the school and later drop it, and their feelings about what happened with them. People making decision to just resign from many particular schools.
Okay, sure. So there is this idea in the first section that you mentioned that this is the only way to get into the middle class is to go to college. And I'm not sure if it's 100% true or if it's only a myth, a social kind of idea here. Some comments here or questions?
Yes, I have a question about the middle class, because I heard a joke that in the US, 90% think that they belongs to the middle class. What is the definition of the middle class in the US?
It's a good question. And I'm not sure how to answer that. I don't know if there's a definite definition for it. We always talk about the middle class as lower middle class. We have lower middle class and we have upper middle class. So I think that might be pretty accurate. If you're not extremely poor, then you might say you're in the lower middle class. If you're not extremely rich, then you might say you're in the upper middle class, even if maybe you are a little bit higher than that. Okay. So in general, if we are not on the extremes, then we think we're in the middle class.
That's weird.
Okay. But again, I don't know what the cutoff is technically.
Okay. Just once, because I heard the definition that in the US, the middle class doesn't exist, that you or rely more about your possibilities. I heard that also too. I don't know which would be correct, that you can just overcome your weaknesses and be a part of the middle class.
Your possibilities to what?
So for example, you just changing your position in the society, you get a degree, and you will start a new job, and you are like automatically part of the middle class.
That it's not very difficult to change classes.
Yeah, it's like a transfer between them.
Okay, I would agree with that. I think that the class system is more of a economic class than a social class. So whatever your salary is, that puts you in the middle class. And if you lose your job, well, now you're in the lower class.
Just the last question: is it true that getting a degree is one of the goals of many young people who are in high school? Do you feel a pressure in high school of parents, teachers that you have to go to the college? How it works?
Very much. It depends on the high school, but in general, yes. It's unusual for somebody not to go to college. So the default is to go to college, and if you hear that somebody is not going to college, you might hear gossip about this person. Did you hear that they're not going to college? Okay, but the general expectation is that everybody will go to college after.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Okay, some other questions here or comments?
Painting murals, like painting on walls, is that just a nice way to say graffiti painting?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know exactly what he intended here. It's possible. I thought that when I first read it, I thought that he meant literally painting murals. But he might be referring to graffiti as well. Okay, other questions or comments here? Okay, let's go next to Niels. And would you read until degree? Niels, are you there?
Now I switch it on again. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and read until on, because this kind of connects to the last one. Even if they get
a degree, they're stuck with a huge bill and may be paying down their student debt for years. And all too often, the jobs they land after graduating don't pay enough to make the degree worthwhile. Last year, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, 46% of recent college graduates were in jobs that don't even require a college degree. The biggest frauds are for profit colleges that are raking in money even as their students drop out in droves, and whose diplomas are barely worth the inkjets they are printed on.
Okay, great. What's the idea here, Niels, or the ideas?
The idea is that apparently too many students are getting a degree in one of the lower universities, and it's not worthwhile really the effort because they're going to get a job which did not really need the degree.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's a pretty high percentage, 46% of people who really aren't using their degree.
Yeah.
Okay, and these for-profit colleges, what kind of colleges are these?
Well, that is these colleges which are not have a high academic standard, but they just make money of giving people an exam paper.
Okay, sure.
I think you can get them on the internet if you want at the moment at some places.
Uh-huh. And these colleges, typically they are very easy to get accepted into. As long as you pay the money, it's very easy to get accepted. But like you said, academically, there's no very high standard. So the degree really doesn't mean anything.
No.
Okay, good. Some comments or questions here?
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Drop out in droves.
In droves. We can use this expression for things other than dropping out. What does it mean if something is done in droves?
In the crowd of the people in the group. So it's like we didn't even notice dropout in the crowd of people.
It's similar. It has to do with the crowd of people, but it means that people are dropping out all at once in large groups. Okay, so not just one or two people dropping out, but a whole class of people dropping out at the same time. And then here comes another huge group of people that drops out.
Normally it'd be used for cattle. You drive cattle so that you have droves of cattle.
Uh-huh. Exactly, which are those groups of cattle altogether. Okay, other questions here? A little thing about the debt situation, because this is a huge problem in the U.S., and I know it's not such a big problem in some countries, but it's even a bigger problem in other countries. Anybody want to compare this situation with that in their country? Because usually people who go to college will have tens of thousands of dollars in debt, and they will keep it for 10, 20, 30 years. This is very common in the U.S. Anybody want to speak about how that works in their country?
Well, in my country, everybody will be giving a student grant not high enough to live on, but you will certainly not have a huge debt when you are finished.
Mm-hmm.
You will get, every month you will get the amount of, say, in dollars, it might be $700 a month.
Okay, is that enough to pay the tuition?
You do not have to pay.
There's no tuition. You pay for your living expenses.
When you are accepted at university, it will be for free for you.
Uh-huh.
But you have to pay for your living expenses, your rent. And
okay. So even they give you some money for that.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. A dream. That would never happen here.
We pay a very high income tax, you see.
That's true. But if you're a student and you have no income, then it's great for you.
Yes.
In some situation, we just choose to go to the university or similar school, or because we don't have a particular college, we have like 2 degrees of the studies, which is completely different. And it's like technical college, which is based on math. And what people do when they don't have enough income, I mean, they have enough money to cover the cost of their school, but they don't have enough to live in this place. They just choose to go only for 2 times or 3 times in the weekend, or maybe 2 weekends. So they're basically learning on the weekends, and they have the same degree from the same school, and there's no difference. There's no difference between those diplomas. So it is a way to just save money, get the same degree, maybe not the same number of lectures, but similar experience.
Okay. Okay, but you can study kind of at home.
Yes, you start. Basically, it is on your own. They just give you, here's a list of books, because I have this kind of school, and it was the university I was in high school, and later at the university. They just give you a list of books, and you are on your own. We don't explain to you, but remember, 6 months, there's an exam from it, everything what you read.
Okay, so it's an option, maybe a little bit more difficult because you have to motivate yourself.
Yeah, because if you're a self-motivated person and you want to save some money, you don't have to be at school every day, because some people hate it and some people like it, but they can choose from different ranges of school. And the third option is like there are like 4 days they go on like it's not in the evening classes, so they go a couple of hours in the evening and they just have a normal job in the morning. So
okay. Okay, good. Any other comments here or questions?
I read My Life, the book My Life by Bill Clinton. As I understood, if he didn't study in Georgetown University near Washington, he wouldn't probably become president, because during that time he made friends, and he worked for Senate, because this university is located near Washington, and I think it was the main step for his career.
Probably, because that's a very good and a very famous university and close to where he would eventually end up. He's from Arkansas, so if he would have stayed in Arkansas, for sure he would have no chance, no chance of becoming president.
And he he returned to Arkansas as the Attorney General, the first one, and Governor, the second.
Okay, good. Any other comments here? All right, let's continue. We also have Carolina and Claudia. Welcome.
Hello, teacher.
Okay, Carolina, would you like to read the next?
Okay. From where? From even?
From America to jobs.
Okay.
Let me highlight it.
America clings to the concept that 4 years of college are necessary for everyone, and looks down its nose at people who don't have a college degree. This has to stop. Young people need an alternative. That alternative should be a world-class system of vocational technical education. A 4 year college degree isn't necessary for many of tomorrow's good jobs.
Okay, good. 2 points here. Make sure when you're using this as an adjective, there's no S at the end, a 4-year college degree, because it's an adjective.
Okay.
And here, make sure you pronounce the S here for many of tomorrow's good jobs.
Okay.
Okay, great. So the author gives us an alternative here. What is the alternative to this system of only going to college, Carolina?
I think that the alternative is to give another kind of education, like technical, for example, less time to study, but the person has the opportunity to study and practical this education in another kind of job. For example, mechanical or plumber or tailor, something like that.
Okay, right. Some sort of specific training, on-the-job training. Okay, good. And we'll read the next one so that, Claudio, you can get a chance to read. Would you like to read this section here?
Yeah, sure. Since, for example?
Yeah.
For example, the emerging economy will need platoons of technicians able to install, service, and repair all the high-tech machinery, filling up hospital offices and factories, and people who can upgrade the software embedded in almost every gadget you buy. Today, it's even hard to find a skilled plumber or electrician.
Okay, great. Just this word here, platoons of technicians.
Platoons of technicians.
Great. Okay, good. So what is our main idea in these paragraphs? Claudio?
Yeah, that all that kind of service it's necessary for the economies, the countries, emerging economies. So the population needed that kind of service, and that's an opportunity to develop or create that jobs with that people, with that knowledge.
Okay, sure. It's not that we don't need these people. We need these people. So if there are students who don't want to go to college, perfect.
Well.
Okay, some questions here?
Yes. Um, what does platoons mean?
Platoons of technicians. Anybody?
A big amount of.
Mm-hmm. Lots of. A big group of. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, Audrey. Senya, that a word that I don't know, and I don't get the explanation.
Entwining.
Mm-hmm.
We can say kind of tangled together, hard to separate, or tied together. Any other questions here? Okay, great. Because of time, we'll stop here, and I'll leave the rest for you to finish. So let me post this in the chat. And again, this is written about American society, but of course, a lot of these ideas happen everywhere. So it's interesting to read this and kind of see what some similarities are between this problem or this issue in America and in your own country, and also to learn a little bit about American culture here. Okay, thank you everybody for coming to the class. Take care. I hope to see you all very soon. And have a great rest
Thank
of
you,
your
teacher.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, guys.